Thanks for staying with us. Let's now head to the court as we understand that the Kano State High Court has issued a restraining order against the Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado-Bayero, and 4 other emirs of Rano, Gaya, Bichi, and Karaye, preventing them from parading as emirs. Delivering the judgment on Monday, Justice Amina Adamu-Aliyu further restrained the 15th Emir of Kano and 4 other dethroned emirs, servants, and privies, as well as any other persons appointed by them. The case was filed by the Attorney General of Kano State, the Speaker, and the Kano State House of Assembly, represented by Counsel Ibrahim Isa Wangida, on May 27th. Justice Adamu-Aliyu confirmed the legislative powers of the Kano State House of Assembly and the authority of a state governor to assent to bills. The court ordered the emirs to surrender all properties of the Kano State Emirate Council to the state government and criticized the conduct of the police as well as its security agencies involved. Still on Kano Emirship, the State House of Assembly on Tuesday passed a bill into law for the creation of second-class emirates in the state. The House took the first reading of the bill before embarking on recess, which they resumed yesterday. Now, after the second and third reading of the bill, the Deputy Speaker, Muhammad Bello Butubutu, moved from the adoption and passage. The Speaker of the House, Jibril Ismail Falgore, presided over the plenary. The new second-class emirates to be created include Rano Emirate, Rano Bunkure, Kibiya, Karaye Emirate, Karaye Rogo, and Gaya Emirate, Gaya and Jigu Albasu. And now to join us and discuss this, we're now joined by a legal practitioner, Tohwo Oseruvwoja. Thank you so much, Tohwo, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Tohwo, I think my first question is going to be, how exactly will the court ruling impact the legacy and the legal status of Aminu Ado-Bayero, as well as the other deposed emirs in historical context?
Well, in historical context, well, if you look at the judgment of the court delivered yesterday, you discover that my lord was so intensive when he restates the powers of the State House of Assembly and that of the governor in respect of the law in question. So by virtue of that, the issue of Ado-Bayero becoming or still the Emir of Kano has been laid to rest because the State High Court has jurisdiction to entertain such a matter, and the court has held that the Kano State House of Assembly, alongside the Kano State governor who have assented to the bill, and the said bill are valid. So we only, as it stands now, we only have one Emirate Council in Kano State, which is the Kano Emirate Council, and we have the Emir, which is Mohammed Sanusi, who is the current Emir of Kano State.
And do you think that this will also in any way affect the rights of those who have been deposed as well as their privileges under the Nigerian law?
Yes, definitely it's going to affect, because whatever rights and obligations they enjoy currently or they enjoyed before that judgment or before the conflict or before the law come into place is as a result of law. And who are those people responsible in making that law? Is the Kano State House of Assembly. And who are those people, who are the person entrusted to make that law valid is the state governor having assented to the bill in question. So if those laws, those privileges they enjoy as a result of law, and upon the law in which they enjoy that privilege does not exist, those privileges and rights cease to exist. And the rights and privileges is now transferred to the person recognized by the Kano State government, and at the same time by the person as stipulated by the current law in place, the Kano State Emirate Council law currently in place in Kano State.
So we have seen the effect on the traditional rulers themselves, but what implication do you think this will have, especially on the people of Kano, as well as their relationship with the monarchy, the traditional authority as they've known it? Looking at it from the light of a similar event in Sokoto State, what negative effects will these conflicts have on the future of the traditional authority and cultural heritage in Nigeria based off of the perspective of the people of the state themselves?
Well, if you look at it carefully, the politicians have hijacked the culture and tradition and the monarch system of government, the monarch system which the democracy or which the federal system of government accommodated. And if you look, if we go down the memory lane, if you see the northern region of Nigeria, or the northern region of Nigeria, there is what we call the colonial indirect rule. The successful administration of colonial indirect rule is as a result of this monarch system of government that was already in place. It's an old institution. It's an institution that is like a culture that governs the people of the north, and which across spread to other jurisdictions in Nigeria. But if you see, with time, with passing of events, this thing has been reduced to the whims and caprices of the governors, the executive governors of each state. And if you look at it, the governor will come and go, but this institution remains. Politics will come and go, this institution remains. These are the people. This institution is the institution that is closer to the people. So if you look at the reaction, okay, let's take it far back 20 years ago. If issues like this had happened in Kano, you would have seen the people's response towards it. But as time goes on, with the way the politicians are managing these traditionals too, which is one of the oldest institutions in Nigeria, it gets to the level whereby even the people who merited to become the traditional rulers were not given. So it has become the whims and the caprices, and those who are not eligible to emerge. And people now see that, well, with time, it's just like any other thing that they can ignore or they will no longer respect, and which is a potential danger. If you look at it, to our heritage, to the custom and tradition of Nigeria, it's really a danger, which I think the politicians should look into it, and at the same time try to separate the political power given to them and the traditional power or traditional tool which protect the custom and tradition of the people, and which is even closer to the people.
Okay, so I mean, I was going to ask you whether or not this now waters down the impact of traditional rulership, but I see that you have mentioned it, because truly the traditional rulership and, you know, everything about tradition is what we've known even before colonialism. But I would have you react to, I don't know if you heard the story I read before our conversation started, where the Kano Emirship State Assembly has passed a bill for the creation of second-class emirate. How would you react to that?
Well, it's just like it's the aspect of political solution they normally talk about when it comes to issues that needed to be handled legally and that needed to be, their precedent need to be set in place. If you look at the emirate that has just been created, it's as a result of those emirates that were once, that has been erased by the new law put in place in 2024. So now they are not coming back as part of compensation. Let me use the word, which I believe that, okay, as part of give and take. If you look at it, other emirates who ceased to exist by virtue of this law did not fight back, or did not in any way challenge the decision of the State House of Assembly. So I see it as a compensative rule. But the question is, how long will this be? Because now it has now been so clear. It's not clear to the public and clear to even everyone that a governor may decide and wake up one morning to say, okay, well, I don't like the traditional ruler in one way or the other. So the traditional institution is now at the whims and caprices of the state governor, and which ought not to be. Though they are within the powers of the state governor because of the kind of homogeneous powers the state governor possess. But this is something that is worrisome. So it's just like, okay, well, we are taking something from you, and we are giving you in a lesser condition. You are not the first class as it is, but you are also recognized as a traditional ruler. So that is what he did. Or that is what the Kano State government and the Kano State House of Assembly has done.
All right. Legal practitioner Tohwo Oseruvwoja, thank you so much for joining us to discuss the Kano Emirate tussle. And of course, we're going to see how that unfolds. Thank you once again.
Thank you.